Hey y'all, it's Kimberly again. Alright, this is my last video tonight. Y'all probably tired of looking at this orange and pink dress that looks like it's from the Scooby-Doo cartoons. That's what I call it. But y'all, look here beside me. Look here, buddy. Say hello, everybody. Hello. That's my baby. That's my baby Razor. And he is such good company. But he been sitting here listening to me do all these videos. Now I'm going to tell you about one more. And I've been telling y'all in these videos that there's things that I've experienced, things that I've been through, and I can help people. Sometimes there are some things that a realtor is not going to really be able to help you. They can kind of guide you along, and they can kind of point you in the right direction. But this here is very important. It has nothing to do with buying property, but it has everything to do with keeping your property in your family. Okay? You need to know this now, not when the situation hits you. And the only way to really tell you more is just to lay it out, lay the cards out, and explain it to you. But I'm telling you straight up front, I have been through this situation. This is how come I know this information. And it comes up over and over and over. I hear people going through it all the time. And there are people that have made mistakes, and now they regret it. And so I hope you'll listen to me. I'm not even going to put age on this. But there are different attorneys for different things. The attorney that you would probably need for this situation, their specialty is called elder law or planning, estate planning, things like that. Not wills, which you do need a will. Not probate. It's not in probate yet, okay? But elder law, trust, and estate planning. I highly recommend. And let me tell you a story, okay? My mom has lived with me before she passed away. She had lived with me for about 11 years. She had became a widow. So she moved in with me, and the property was jointly owned by me and her, okay? And she decided that she wanted her own house by herself. So I had to get the property that she and I jointly owned out of her name totally, so she could go get something financed just in her name, even though she was about 79, 80 years old, y'all. Maybe 78, okay? All right. Because when you go get a primary mortgage, you normally cannot own more than one property. It just depends on the lender and what their rules are. And so we planned ahead. I checked everything out, and that was one of the things that she was going to have to do, was get her name off of our jointly owned property. We jointly owned it together as joint tenants with right of survivorship, because if she passed away, she wanted to be sure that I got the house. If I passed away, it rolled straight over to her. My name came off of it because I died, and it would be hers, and then she could do with it what she wanted to. Okay? So this was all at the recommendation of a real estate attorney. All right? I did not do anything regarding my mom's estate, her planning, real estate, or anything like that without an attorney telling me, because I'm in real estate, and I didn't want to do anything that would be a detriment to my mom, and I didn't want to give her the wrong advice. I had to research this stuff to a T, because if something happened to me, I want to make sure she was okay. If something happened to her, I want to make sure everything fell in place properly to where I would not even have to open up an estate for probate. I wanted everything to just roll over and it not be a nightmare to me. And there's ways you can do that. That's another video, but not tonight. Okay, so before my mom decided to go ahead and try and find her another house, she said this would be the last house she lived in, the last house she would ever buy. And it was the first house she ever bought alone by herself. I talked to attorneys and they gave me advice. My mom had several checks coming in per month. She had a state like South Carolina. She was a state employee when she retired, so she got a state retirement check. She was a widow to someone in the military. She got a widow's pension from Department of Defense. And she also was able to draw her Social Security off of her deceased husband because they were married more than 10 years and his Social Security was more than hers, so she was able to draw his. So she had a good bit of money coming in every month. Now, look at her bank account, you wouldn't be able to tell it. Okay, because she liked to go shopping. Anyway, if she was to have to go into a home, a nursing home, or assisted living center, or anything like that, she made too much money to go with a state-run facility to where she would use her Social Security check. She didn't make enough money to go into a private sector. And also, I had promised her I would never put her in a home unless she ended up with dementia or Alzheimer's and she did not know who I was, and she her whole demeanor changed, like she was a threat to me and my family, or was going to try and cause us harm. And people with dementia and Alzheimer's will do that because her deceased husband tried to do that to her. And that's why she had to put him in a home. That's when we started planning what is she going to do when he passes away, because she lived in a different state. Therefore, lots of attorney talks we had to have. Now, because me and my mom had lived together for so long, if she would have had to go into a home and not buy a house of her own, we were not going to have to worry about Social Security coming to take the house. And they will try to do that. Look it up. We were told, just use this as an example now, if my mom had to have went into a nursing home that needed nursing facility, her Social Security would have paid for it. Her whole entire check gets sent to the nursing home. And they would give my mama a check for about maybe $100, I think, for her to buy her toiletries and her personal items for her room. That's all she got. Wasn't even enough to go shopping on. She just couldn't believe it. Okay? She'd have to give up that check. Now, if that had happened, and I'm living in the house that had mine and her name on it for protection, they will not take my house. This is back before she passed away, y'all. Back in, she died in 2023. I'm talking about back in the 2020s when we were talking about all this. We were told by an attorney that because I had lived and was her caretaker and lived in the home with her, and my name was also on the deed, that Social Security would not come after her or her estate when she died. They would come after my estate when I died, which would have been my children. My children would have had to sell the house to pay back Social Security all the money they paid for my mom to be in a home. And then if I was in a home, they'd have to pay them back for mine too. If I was in a home, had to go to a home. So, go to my next video, because there was some things that did not apply because I never put her in a home. Watch my next video.